Imagine turning on your tap one morning and nothing comes out. This isn't a dystopian fiction. It's a looming reality for many Americans. Today we're diving into the 12 alarming reasons why America is running out of clean drinking water. It's a crisis unfolding right before our eyes, and it's time we talk about it. Welcome back to the Green Prepper channel. If you're new here, we tackle the pressing issues of preparedness and clean water, equipping you with the knowledge to face tomorrow's challenges. Remember, prepare now so you will be ready later. Number 1. Aging infrastructure. Our first point takes us underground to the aging water systems of America. These antiquated pipelines are more than just rusty relics. They're a ticking time bomb for water contamination and massive leaks. Envision a labyrinth of decaying pipes, hidden beneath our feet, silently crumbling away and leaching unknown contaminants into the water that flows into our homes, schools, and hospitals. Each day, these aging conduits are pushed closer to the brink, threatening to unleash a flood of pollutants that could turn our taps into sources of danger, rather than nourishment. As these relics of the past deteriorate, they not only risk catastrophic failures but also become unwitting conduits for pathogens and heavy metals, turning every glass of water into a potential health hazard. Number 2. Industrial pollution. Next up is industrial pollution. Picture this: toxic chemicals and heavy metals seeping into our water supply. It's not just bad for the environment, it's a direct threat to our health. Imagine rivers and lakes once teeming with life, now choked by industrial waste, transforming them into silent, toxic streams that flow right into our homes. This hidden menace lurks beneath the surface, as factories freely and unchecked discharge pollutants and toxins into waterways, turning our essential water sources into hazardous mixtures that evade detection until it's too late. Every sip of water could be a cocktail of industrial toxins that they call forever chemicals that can never be filtered out, with long-term consequences we're only beginning to understand, a ticking time bomb in our taps, endangering generations to come. Number 3. Agricultural runoff. Turning to our farms, the use of pesticides and fertilizers might boost crops, but they're poisoning our water. This runoff is a cocktail of chemicals you don't want in your glass. Imagine the silent invasion of our waterways by a stealthy enemy. Toxic runoff from fields, seeping into rivers and aquifers, transforming our life-sustaining water into a dangerous brew of agrochemicals. As these potent substances percolate through the soil, they infiltrate our water supply, insidiously turning each drop into a carrier of invisible yet harmful agents, capable of impacting health and ecosystems alike. This relentless flow of chemicals, a byproduct of our quest for agricultural abundance, is an uninvited guest in our water systems, one that threatens to turn the very essence of life into a source of chronic ailments. Number 4. Climate change. The big C, climate change. It's not just about hotter summers and melting ice caps. It's about drastic changes in rainfall patterns, leading to severe droughts and dwindling water supplies. Envision a world where parched earth and dried-up rivers become the norm, as shifting climates turn once abundant water sources into barren wastelands, leaving communities gasping for a drop of life. As extreme weather events intensify, floods and hurricanes wreak havoc on water infrastructure, contaminating what little precious resources remain, and turning the quest for clean water into a survival challenge. In this rapidly changing climate scenario, even the rain becomes a foe, either absent when most needed or arriving in devastating deluges, washing away the hopes for clean, accessible water and leaving behind a trail of destruction and scarcity. Number 5. Urban runoff. Our cities aren't innocent either. Urban runoff laden with oil, heavy metals, and trash is turning our waterways into polluted streams. Imagine the bustling city streets, not just conduits of traffic, but also of a toxic tide, as rain washes a myriad of pollutants from roads and rooftops directly into our rivers and lakes, creating a hidden hazard beneath the urban landscape. Each rainfall becomes a sinister catalyst, transforming ordinary streets into rivers of contamination, sweeping up everything from gasoline to industrial waste, and funneling these poisons into the very water we rely on. This relentless urban assault on water sources turns every storm drain into a potential enemy, a conduit for urban waste to invade our water systems, silently infusing our drinking water with a cocktail of urban pollutants. Number 6. Fracking and mining activities. Fracking and mining are digging us into a deep hole, quite literally. The hazardous chemicals used are leaching into our groundwater, out of sight but definitely a concern. Below the surface, fracking and mining carve out a labyrinth of contamination, where toxic substances seep stealthily into the groundwater, turning the life-giving essence beneath our feet into a hidden poison chalice. As heavy machinery tears through the earth, it unleashes a silent, insidious menace. Chemicals and metals, long buried and forgotten, now free to infiltrate our water tables, turning each well and spring into a potential source of peril. These extractive industries, in their relentless pursuit, not only fracture the ground, but also the very foundation of our water security, injecting hazardous byproducts into aquifers and leaving communities to grapple with an unseen, underground threat. Number 7. Lack of proper waste disposal. It's not just about what we take out, but also what we put in. Improper waste disposal from various sectors is contaminating our precious water sources. Every improperly disposed piece of waste becomes a ticking time bomb for our waterways, as chemicals, plastics, and biomedical refuse insidiously seep into rivers and lakes, turning them into invisible cesspools beneath their calm surfaces. This silent invasion of pollutants, a byproduct of our negligence, infiltrates the water cycle, transforming reservoirs and aquifers into repositories of toxins, with each drop potentially carrying a legacy of harm. As landfills overflow and illegal dumping goes unchecked, a toxic tide rises beneath us, turning the very act of quenching our thirst into a dangerous gamble, with an unseen and insidious adversary lurking in our water. Number 8. Lead pipes. Lead pipes, still lurking in older communities, are a silent threat, leaching lead into our drinking water. It's an invisible danger with visible consequences. These relics of a bygone era, hidden within the walls of our homes and schools, are insidiously corrupting our water with lead, a potent neurotoxin, turning every faucet into a potential source of long-term health devastation. As water courses through these aging arteries, it picks up deadly lead particles, transforming a simple glass of water into a vehicle for chronic illness, affecting our most vulnerable, the young and the elderly. Unseen and often ignored, these lead conduits carry not just water, but a legacy of neglect, silently inflicting cognitive and developmental harm with each unnoticed sip, a lurking menace in our midst. Number 9. Overuse of water resources. Water everywhere, but not a drop to spare. Our excessive water usage is depleting sources faster than they can replenish, leading us to a dry future. As aquifers run dry and rivers recede, the concentration of pollutants in remaining water sources skyrockets, transforming once pristine waters into toxic cocktails. The relentless extraction of groundwater not only lowers water levels, but also allows contaminants from the surface to seep in, further tainting our precious reserves. With less water to dilute them, industrial and agricultural waste compounds accumulate, turning the quest for clean water into a mirage in our overburdened ecosystems. Number 10. Lack of investment in water infrastructure. With limited funds and attention, our water infrastructure is falling apart. It's a costly oversight we can't afford to ignore. As pipes and treatment plants age without repair, they become sources of contamination themselves, leaching harmful substances into our water supply. This neglect intensifies the scarcity of clean water, as untreated wastewater and leaking pipes contribute to the pollution of already limited water sources. Every drop of neglected infrastructure accelerates the crisis, turning the quest for clean water into a desperate struggle in an increasingly thirsty world. Number 11. Water waste. Every drop counts, but we're letting it slip away. From leaky pipes to careless habits, our daily water waste is a luxury we no longer have. As we squander water in excess, the unseen consequence is dire. Pollution spreads, contaminating what little clean water remains, turning life's essence into a dwindling, precious commodity. Unchecked waste not only depletes our reservoirs, but also overburdens our sewage systems, leading to untreated water seeping into rivers and lakes, a silent crisis escalating beneath our very feet. The irony of abundance breeds neglect, Each thoughtless flush and open tap accelerates the march towards a parched future where clean water is a memory, trapped in the annals of a more mindful past. First, lack of water reuse. Finally, we're missing out on recycling our water. Gray water systems, reusing cooking water, capturing shower water, and using pool covers can make a big difference. In a world gasping for every drop, our failure to embrace water reuse is like watching a precious resource evaporate before our eyes, as millions of gallons of reusable water are lost, deepening the crisis of scarcity. By neglecting the potential of gray water, we're turning our backs on a sustainable lifeline, letting valuable water slip down the drain, only to struggle in search of new, often scarce sources. This oversight in harnessing every drop is akin to a slow drip of opportunity, washing away the chance to mitigate water scarcity, as each unrecycled stream from our homes adds to the growing thirst of an increasingly parched planet. As we face these 12 daunting challenges, it's clear that the water crisis isn't just coming, it's already here. In light of America's critical water situation, it's crucial to not only be aware, but also be equipped with the knowledge to tackle these challenges when they show up in your own backyard. Natural disasters, water shortages, and water crisis events can affect us all when we least expect them. There is hope and easy solution for you and your family. I encourage you to check out our comprehensive video training on creating pure, clean, drinkable water anywhere when you most need it. Whether you have grid power, solar power, or generator power, you can still make water. Click the info linked in the description box below. Remember, prepare now, so you will be ready later. Stay informed, stay prepared. Thanks for watching The Green Prepper, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more crucial updates on clean water and preparedness.